Tonight from Jim Goda Stadium in Moorhead, it's high school football as the Moorhead Spuds take on the Bemidji Lumberjacks. And once again, it comes down to the end of the season, and this has become a traditional game, end of the season, and it always has something on the line. A section championship running for home field when the time comes around in postseason play, and for overall bragging rights in the course of the year. And Mac, when you take a look at how these teams play, it's always a very tightly contested, hotly contested game.
It always is. It seems like it comes down to possibly the last minute of the game a lot of times, but you're going to see a good football game tonight. They are, both teams are very good. Show and Bemidji, they haven't given up a lot of points either. But
through the lineup here tonight. We are at a point in the season where we've gone through some weather conditions and we've gone through something less than conditions-wise. And tonight, it's one of those nights at this time of year we'll take 99 times out of 100.
I was 42 degrees when I walked down here from my house, and you know what? It wasn't 42 degrees when we got up this morning, so this is not bad conditions. We got a little bit of a southwest breeze that's not going to do too much to anybody, I don't think. And let's get that B team out here and let's get ready to go.
Moorhead and Bemidji tonight. We'll be back with more on tonight's matchup when we return after this timeout.
Control and focus.
There we go.
Staying
2 minutes here.
centered.
2 minutes.
At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we center our focus on you and your needs.
Yeah, I couldn't
We
hear
work
myself
hard
talk.
every
Oh,
day for
I had you
you,
way
your
off.
family,
Oh.
your business. It's service
Oh, hey, Larry, how many minutes is it? 1 or 2?
easier with
All right.
online services and mobile banking, a one-stop shop for your business, and a top-rated mortgage experience. Central Minnesota Credit Union, centered on you. Insured by NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
A1 Automotive is your friendly neighborhood automotive
got
service center
stiff.
right here in Moorhead. We are thrilled to bring
I
you
felt
these
good all
radio
day today.
broadcasts of the
Went down.
Moorhead sports teams.
Read the paper.
Moorhead at Jim Goda Stadium. High school football wraps up their regular season as the Spuds take on the Bemidji Lumberjacks. And for years, the success of Bemidji has rested primarily in the hands of their head coach, Troy Hendricks. And he retired from his position a year ago, so we'll see if they have a different look.
Everything's the same. He hired Brian Stoffel as his head coach, who actually Troy turned over the play calling reins to him about 2 years ago, I think it was. And so
it was kind of like an audition for 2 years.
yeah, pretty much. And but you're going to see same thing you've seen from him before. You're going to see a lot of zone read. You're going to see speed option. You're going to see 4 wides. You're going to see jet sweep. You're going to see a little mixture of counter game that actually Troy kept over from his days when he was at Moorhead State. So nothing's going to change too much there. Just who's actually in charge of the game.
On the field, the charge of the game for Bemidji goes to quarterback Brett Theraldson. He's a third-year player, second-year starter, and has progressed and has become a very adept quarterback for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, and what you'll see him do is he does something that in the offense that they run, when he gives the ball, it's kind of like when you watch Elk River. all of a sudden you think that he's got the ball because he carries out his play fix so well. So you're gonna have to kind of make sure that we're seeing that and watch what we do there. But he does a nice job of that. He throws a nice ball.
A look at Moorhead's offense and more on tonight's game when we return after this timeout. Lowell Bennis and Company. We've talked briefly about the quarterback play of Brett Theraldson for Bemidji, and all season we've had more than ample opportunity to talk about the abilities of Moorhead's quarterback Trey Feeney.
I tell you what, he has just evolved into one heck of a player. He doesn't make many mistakes. He throws the ball away when he has to. He doesn't force stuff in there. He's thrown one interception, I believe, all year. And he made the tackle so that it wasn't a pick six, and then they ended up stopping him. So that worked out pretty well too. But the receivers that he has to throw to, they're a well-oiled machine. You can tell that I'd come down and walk the dog in the evening on Saturday, and they'd be out here, him and the twins and all the other receivers, and they're working on stuff on their own, and it tells that extra work has paid off for them. They know what's going on in front of them.
Not only has there only been one interception, but only one fumble has been lost this year. And so when you get into a big game, you want to make sure that you know how to take care of the football.
Absolutely, and Moorhead has done, I have a thing I call sudden change. Not only have they not turned the ball over, but when the other teams have turned the ball over, more times than not, they've turned that into a score.
Generally, it has been a result of a short field.
Yeah, that too. They've had some very short fields this year, and you know what? As a coach, we like those.
As the Spuds prepare to enter the arena tonight, this is the third formula of uniforms that we will see for them. We have seen them with white jerseys. We've seen them with orange jerseys. Tonight they're in black jerseys. So the orange pants stay in place. The helmets stay in place. And regardless of which they wear, I still can't read the numbers.
I tell you, it's a combination of the way those things are cut, and the lighting's actually too good. It rubs it out from the glare.
So we've talked about the offenses of both teams. Bemidji, likewise, has been a very salty defensive team, allowing just an average of 10 points a game. Moorhead, a little bit more. They've got 3 shutouts in their record in 5 games played and have allowed just, 9 points? An average of 4 points per game. 44-4 outscoring their opponent.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Moorhead's defense has played unbelievably well, especially the last 3 weeks. When they shut down Rogers, that's when they kind of arrived. And their front seven, starting with Thomas, Myers, and Tyken on the ends, they take care of business up front. They don't leave a lot of running room, and then they also don't give them a lot of time to throw the ball. So what has happened with some of the quarterbacks that the Spuds have played is that they've had to hurry their deliveries and have thrown some very errant balls out of quarterbacks that normally are pretty doggone good.
The importance of tonight's game is that the winner very likely will be given the nod as the number one team in Section 8 5A football. And the loser then tonight will be the number two, which means they will both get a bye in the opening round and will take on the quarterfinal winners on Saturday. And so that's the impetus for a great performance tonight as the Spuds take on the Bemidji Lumberjacks. And we will have the opening kickoff when we return after this timeout.
Veterans Day is all about honor. It's all about serving. It's all about serving your country so everyone here can be free. Veterans Day is all about valor. It's all about laying your life on the line to protect liberty. We raise our flag to you, the red, the white, and the blue. Raising our flag tonight is Mr. Jeff Offit. Not only has he been teaching in our district for 20 years, he is the 2020 Horizon Teacher of the Year and the Moorhead Public Schools District Teacher of the Year. Jeff was also an infantryman E4 in Moorhead's 2nd of the 136th Mechanized Infantry Unit for 6 years as part of the Army National Guard. Thank you, Jeff. And singing our national anthem this evening is Moorhead High School senior Jack Newcomb. Jack is planning on attending one of the U.S. military academies this upcoming school year. Thank you in advance, Jack, for your service and dedication.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Appreciative crowd tonight of it being Veterans Day, and in honor of that, Moorhead senior Jack Newcomb sang and presented the national anthem before the crowd here tonight, much to the delight of his teammates and of course to family and friends in the bleachers. And so a quick look at how this game is going to go. Moorhead and Bemidji, Mac. It's always a tough one.
It's always a tough one, and you know, in the first game last year, it was all Bemidji in the second half. And then when they get to the section final, Moorhead just keep the heat on and actually knocked off the number 1 seeded team to take them, and they actually shocked Bemidji last year. Didn't shock us, but it did shock Bemidji.
We'll see how much of that carries over into the game here tonight. Moorhead is in their homestanding black jerseys, orange pants, and numbers, while the Lumberjacks are in their traveling whites with blue numbers. The Lumberjack blue on helmet and numbers, and they will kick off. Moorhead will get the football as they step back in kick return all the way back, and George Janforth is standing at the 10-yard line. I think that's Caden Berg on the other side.
Nope, it's Keenan Wendt.
Keenan Wendt
Yep.
is in kick return on the far hash mark as they prepare for the return. As they line it up and get ready to go, Lumberjacks signal that they are ready. The officials are ready to go. And the end of the season, the end of the regular season, is here now as the Spuds and Lumberjacks play on a short kickoff, gathered in by Keenan Wendt, dropped by Keenan Wendt, and he has to drop straight down on it. And he gets to the 20-yard line, so not necessarily the way he wanted it to go, but it's first down, Moorhead.
At least he was able to fall on it. He tried to take that ball. There's a line drive kick. He came up and tried to get it on the run. Hit him a little high on the shoulder pad, but he had the presence of mind to just keep the ball in front of him. And the 20-yard line, that's not a bad start.
So from there, it's first down, Moorhead, as we get this one underway. Alexandria, Sartell, also in the mix for playoff berths tonight. Brainerd is in the hunt for a playoff spot. And the other 4 teams in a 6-team section will play in what is called quarterfinals. And then we'll meet Moorhead and or Bemidji in the second game. Here's a swing out to the far side, and the catch is made, but not much more upfield. Trey Feeney on the completion. Ja'Kai Fitzpatrick on the reception, but no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Yeah, they ran that little bubble screen where Ja'Kai's lined up there and trips out to the left, and he's the inside receiver. Ran that little bend back route so that he could get it, and the ball sailed on him just a little bit, so he had to turn around and get it. By the time he got his footing, he basically got picked up a half a yard.
Welcome aboard to our best friend in Florida. Listening in tonight is the Spuds. We hope you're enjoying your weather. We know it's maybe a bit testy. And so Trey Feeney takes a look at his offense, and it is mixed, so he's changing things up. Play clock is down at 5 now as he gets loose. Trey Feeney watching it go to 1, gets it just in time, and he rifles it out to the far side. And from there, a quick step out of bounds. And Blake Walthall picks up about 9, I think coming up just short. Yeah, they're going to mark him at the 29-yard line. So just short of the first down.
And that time, he just ran about an 8 or 9 yard out, was able to catch the ball in front of the sideline, got up as much as he could, but wasn't a lot of field left for him to run into, so he just ended up stepping out of bounds. But this is very manageable, 3rd and about 1.5 yards.
And so normally you would think that on 3rd and short yardage you might go to a run game, but we don't necessarily think that's going to happen with the way the Spuds have been running their offense here this year. Trey Feeney rocks and waits, takes the snap and looks. Rolls near side, he's got some room. He runs into a defender, and he just did, I think, get it as they spot it. Now the official on the near side is giving him a left foot mark, and that's going to make him short, but on the far side, it is the arm forward, and it's first down. Trey Feeney on a quarterback keeper for the first down.
And good decision that time. They basically were looking for something short. They came up underneath all the receivers. That left a nice little running lane over between his right tackle and right guard, and he got the first down.
Bemidji's defense settling in as they get the play call from the far side. 3 down linemen, 4th linebacker. As they take a look, Trey Feeney, as the Spuds have picked up a first down on their opening drive. Now they switch up and put a slot in the near side. Here's the play. Feeney looking upfield. Now he slips loose and comes upfield, and again that open right in the middle of the field. It gets him some very good positive yardage at the 41-yard line, and a 9-yard pickup for Trey Feeney, 2nd and 1.
And again, they're playing a 2-deep zone, rushing 4, and they got 5 underneath. And that time they're sitting on all those little short routes they're running. But when they do that, linebackers got to vacate Larry, so there's a nice running lane right up the middle that time.
Moorhead has found through the course of the year that middle of the field tends to be pretty much wide open on a lot of plays, a big percentage of plays that the Spuds run. 2 left, 2 right. Handoff left side. There's the first running play for the Spuds, and a nice hole across the 40-yard line, closing in on the 46-yard line, and that's a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, and that's Janforth again on that when they run that wham play where They have a back that's lined up right over the guards, leads up on the linebacker. He put his shoulder pad level down and got an extra couple with it.
So from the 46-yard line as the Spuds keep the chains moving upfield. Receivers left and 2 to the near right side as they wait for Trey Feeney to take snap. We are just underway. First possession, false start, encroachment. Fingers are being pointed at Bemidji. They maybe jumped ahead just a bit. That's going to cost the Lumberjacks 5 yards and put the ball across midfield down at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, and Bemidji was getting ready to blitz that time. They had their linebackers, outside linebackers up in line of scrimmage, and he went to a hard count, it looked like, and I'd get them to do the yips.
The 3 down linemen waiting. Moorhead has moved the ball from their own 20-yard line. A couple of consecutive first downs has put the ball across midfield now at the Lumberjack 49. 3 receivers wide, far left side for Trey Feeney. Here's the snap back and the look, and a quick toss on the near side. Catch is made, but there's no room at all, and the play goes down. Ja'Kai Fitzpatrick on the reception at the 46-yard line, so a short gain there. And the Spuds, no, but they had 1st and 5, so now it's 2nd down and about 2.
Yeah, about 2. And again, he just ran a little 3-yard hitch route. They're really playing up tight on him, so he kind of cut that just a little short, I think. But Trey still got the ball out in time, and it's still positive yard lines. Really, when you look at this passing game, it's just an extension. It's all ball control, extension of the running game.
The wall of granite is in as the blocker, Mahmoud Jonas. He'll lead the play into the line as we expect the Spuds to go to a short yardage situation, and they do off the left side. And the play is caught up and wrapped up at the 45-yard line. They needed to cross the 44, so we'll see where they spot it down, and it is not enough. It's still 3rd down at about a yard for a Spuds 1st down.
Yeah, and that time they actually just ran power to the left. They pulled the backside guard. Eunice was just a blocking fullback on the time. He tried to kick out the linebackers here, but their inside linebackers both got over the top and stopped that for a very short gain. A nice defense by Bemidji.
Already more than 4 minutes of possession for the Spuds as they continue to drive upfield now at the Lumberjack 45-yard line, needing about a yard. He can expect if they don't get it that they'll continue to run. Wide receivers, far left side. Here's the turn, handoff. There's the room, a lot of room for Janforth, and he's over the 40, and he goes down at the 39-yard line. That's a 5-yard pickup, and another Moorhead 1st down.
And again, that they tried to run the wham play, and Janforth did something a little bit different that time. He was lined up over the left, so was Mahmoud. He got up on the linebacker, but the defensive end pinched his head inside. He broke it outside, picked up some extra yards, so it was just between him and that corner out there. It was a nice read by Janforth.
So closing in on the 7-minute mark here in the 1st quarter. Spuds on the opening drive. Wide receiver left, 2 receivers near side with a slot on the near side as well, and now a 4th receiver comes to the near side as Trey Feeney is waiting, and time on the play clock running down from 3 to 2, and he got it again at 1. He's got great a sense of timing. We got a flag down here for a holding as Trey Feeney took the snap and rolled off to the far left side, and just as he made his move, the flag came down immediately. That will cost the Spuds.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding called on the left side, and basically the tackle on that side tackled their defensive end. But again, Trey recognized it right away. They didn't have anybody outside leverage, so he just took the ball and went around the corner. It's too bad that they got the holding call because they didn't really need to do it. And I think he was close to getting the 1st down on that run.
A lot of the talk that we've indicated in the game so far in the pregame and conversation regarding lack of turnovers by Moorhead. One of the things that stands out also is special teams play, and also the fact that they have not hurt themselves a great deal with penalties. But this penalty puts the ball back on their own side of the 50, and they look upfield with Trey Feeney going deep. He's got his man, and he dropped the football. There it was for Blake Walthall, and at the 34-yard line on his hands, but he made contact with the defender, and it seemed to be just enough contact to knock it loose. And so with that, it brings up 2nd down, be 2nd down and about 21.
Yeah, it's too bad he was there too, but the ball was just a little bit behind him, so when he made contact with it, because he had
just enough.
Yeah, he was just trying to get it off his back shoulder pad that time, because I don't know if the ball just sailed on him or what, but nice job. He ran that quick slant in there, and it was there. We just didn't quite hang on.
Line to gain, the Bemidji 29-yard line. Line of scrimmage, Moorhead's own 49. Offensive scheme shifts and comes wide near side. Looking upfield, Trey Feeney wobbles it out, and it's caught, but very short gain on the play. Bemidji has, if I recall correctly, 12 interceptions this year, and they are not afraid to take a dive and try to create a turnover, or as Mac would call it, a sudden change. This was close,
Yes,
but
it
the reception made for a short gain, and that puts the ball at the Bemidji 47.
Yeah, and at that time, again, just running that little in route for about 5 yards, but they're not backing out of there at all. They're keeping all those 500 people right with the receivers and playing that too deep, and Moorhead is going to be able to get a long one here pretty soon. 2
plays to pick up 18 yards to keep the drive going. Trey Feeney looks wide receivers left, and a quick toss. Now he'll step in, steps back and throws, and that one is deflected away, but no, it comes right back to it, and Thomas got it at the 45-yard line. Wow, what happened there? And it brings up 4th down, another short gain, and this is the first time all year that we would have to say that the defense of the opponent is dictating how the Spuds are playing their game.
Yeah, they are, and again, like I said, they're rushing 3, 500 zone, 2 deep zone. They're staying there, waiting for Darren Moorhead to throw deep, and that time he faked it, and then they came up and rallied for the tackle.
4th and 15. Line of scrimmage, the Bemidji 44. Play clock is at 6 and running down. There's a quick punt, and it looks like a big win from a week ago. Held it up, and it came straight down. The Spuds were there to cover, make sure it didn't take a bad bounce for them. And so the quick pooch kick from Trey Feeney puts the ball down at the 31-yard line. Ball has been turned over on downs, and it's 1st down, Bemidji.
Yeah, they went with their quick kick, and which we see them do a lot, and especially if Bemidji doesn't have anybody back, they're going to kick it. That time he just got a little bit too much air underneath it, and it got caught up in that little southwest breeze a little bit, and so it ended up being about a 16-yard punt. So now we get to see what the defense can do.
7 minutes and 11 seconds of possession for the Spuds, and it turns it over at the 30-yard line. Here's Bemidji. They have wing left, wing right. Here's the play and the run. Moorhead's defense is there. Run defense has been very good this year.
Yep.
And the Bemidji Lumberjacks, more often than not, will make their game plan work because of the run.
Yep, but again, they ran right into Jack Peck and tried to run outside zone. Again, he knocked that thing way down in there. Then Austin Alton Peters also on that side as the outside linebacker, and he came in and really tightened it down, forced him to cut it back inside, and he was there for a big tackle. And so, of course, Jackson Goda was on the assist.
There has been no scoring here early on as Bemidji breaks huddle with 4:13 to go. Wide receiver near left side and a late break from the huddle. Play clock is at 4. Theraldson waits and takes the snap. First man in on the Spuds defense there, but he shrugs off a would-be tackle and works his way up near the 38-yard line. So a nice gain there for the Lumberjacks. 3rd and manageable. I suspect 3rd and about 3.
Yep, somewhere in there. And again, running that inside zone to the right, he bounced it outside. Thomas Myers, again, came down from his defensive end, made first contact, but the back is so strong, he dragged him for about 3 or 4 extra yards.
So Brett Theraldson gets the play call from the far side. He actually leaves the huddle and goes over and talks with his offensive coordinator before coming back into the huddle. And when he does, Matthew Arell is wide out far right side. Pistol formation. And the man in motion to the near side. Here's Theraldson looking. Throwing it into, and he's got the 1st down.
Yep.
Yes, he did a slide at the 41 all the way up to about the 42. That's just where he needed to be. And a quick look there gives Bemidji a 1st down.
Yeah, and he was sitting back in that shotgun, and he was looking to run the slant play to the right side. Moorhead jumped that very well. Started getting coverage on him, then he just did the right thing. He just got what he could and picked up 4 when he needed 3.
Bemidji did not have bad field position on the exchange from Moorhead, and so they've been able to separate themselves from the yardage behind them now as they move upfield with that 1st down at the 43-yard line. Wide receiver right, 2 receivers near left side. Running back on either side. Here's the play to the near side and a nice block throw, and the run up across midfield and down it comes as Moorhead's linebacking core with Jackson Goda leading the way, making the stop.
Yeah, and that time they ran outside zone, and he rode that a long time. He waited and waited and waited, and finally Moorhead's defensive end outside committed, which gave him the outside. And the guard on the right side actually came underneath and was able to pick up that extra block to pick him up. He picked up 3-4 yards extra because of that.
9-yard gain by play's end. And Bemidji runs their plays in from the sideline. And so each time they have a play, the play clock works its way right along. Theraldson, I formation or a pistol formation with a high running back. Here's the play back. Theraldson is being chased. He leans, he throws, and it is caught at the 48-yard line.
Close.
And it's very close to the first down. The line to gain was somewhere in the vicinity of the 47. And let's see where they spot it down. From here, it looks like they're going to give it and move the chains, but they'll spot the ball first. And there it is. Chains have moved ahead by just inches. That's first down, Bemidji.
Yeah, he threw that off his back foot. Thomas Myers chased him out of the pocket, was just getting ready to make the hit, and nice job by that receiver there to come back to the ball. And then when he caught it, he just basically went down a clump and was only about a foot over the first down mark.
Quickly played first quarter of play, a minute and a half remaining, and there's been no scoring. Bemidji out of their huddle, hustling up to the line before the play clock expires. Here's the rundown on the option pitch to the near side, looking for some room, and the Spuds shut it down as they come to the near side. The play is stopped, and I wonder if that wasn't Keenan Wynn.
Keenan from his free.
Yeah,
Yep.
he came up from his safety spot to make
Yep.
the tackle.
He ran the alley, as they would say, because they ran speed option right towards you and I. Moore did a nice job of stretching it out. When he finally turned it up, there was Keenan right in the alley to make the tackle.
Very little breeze tonight, quite contrary to normal game situations. 46 seconds and counting down. Bemidji is moving right to left after forcing the Spuds to turn it over on downs here moments ago. Here's Theraldson sending a man in motion. And down into the line, it's Theraldson on the keeper, and he's wrapped up and brought down. Spuds crashing through Jackson Goda, leading the way up to make the stop, and it's third down.
Yeah, that time they ran read zone, the zone read. He read it. Christian Vega basically took care of the fullback himself. Then when he pulled out, guess who was there? Thomas Myers and Jackson Goda.
They appear to be in no hurry to get this play underway, and they're going to let the clock run down. They have about 12 seconds between the play clock and the game clock, and so from every indication we see on the field that play we just ran will end the first quarter. And as the teams head off the field and turn it around and go the other way, after 1 quarter of play on the Speakeasy scoreboard, it's Moorhead nothing, Bemidji nothing.
Brady's service.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Grandparent and being of this age is that we've got grandchildren that are sitting at home waiting and listening on every word that Grandpa has to say, and we know that in the McLeod household that's exactly what's going on. So wishing you all the best as we cheer on the Spuds here tonight against the Lumberjacks. Here's a reverse to the far side, and the run goes to James Williams III, and he's up the sideline, and James Williams III is in the end zone for the touchdown. Coming out of the quarter break, Bemidji on a 42-yard run by James Williams III.
And that time they looked like they were going to run speed option right back to their right-hand side. He was lined up as a slot, came back, pitched it back to him. Moorhead had committed to the run. There's not much they could do, and nice job of running. Ja'Kai Fitzpatrick almost broke through there to stop them, but nice job of cutting back and scoring the touchdown.
So the point after try now by the Lumberjacks. Here's the approach, and the kick is up. Looked good from here it is, and the Lumberjacks strike, and strike first. We are just underway in the second quarter with 11:49 to go on the Speakeasy scoreboard. It's Bemidji 7 and Moorhead nothing. The lightning strikes here at Jim Goda Stadium in Moorhead as the Lumberjacks open up the second quarter with a 42-yard reverse run and score. And it's 7-0 as the Lumberjacks take the lead, and now they prepare for the kickoff. Slight breeze blowing left to right, I think, and so at the back, Janforth is back, Wendt is back for Moorhead waiting as they stand near the 15-yard line. Here's the approach now, and the kick is nubbed up the middle of the field and gathered in. And Lindell has it briefly, and he scoots off to the far side and steps out of bounds. David Lindell was there. I don't know that he was expecting it, but he had to field it. It was right in his arms, and the Spuds will get pretty good field position on the kick return by Lindell. And it'll be first down at at their own 37. No, they're marking it up at the 39-yard line.
And that was a nice job by Lindell, because that ball was actually kicked away from him, took a nice bounce. He picked it up, trying to get upfield, but they had such a wall there, he just kept running sideways until he was out of bounds.
And so with that, the Spuds, who struggled to get upfield, Moorhead has a 12th player on the field, and they just did get him off. And before time expired, play clock is at 4 and counting down. Here's Trey Feeney with the snap, looking upfield and rifling one. He's got the toss, he's got the catch, he's got the run, spinning, twisting, ball is loose.
He fumbled.
And he fumbled it away, and Bemidji has come up with the recovery. So the twists and turns of a football game that have favored Moorhead so much during the year, starting to turn their ugly head on the Spuds here tonight.
Probably shouldn't have said anything in the pregame.
But can we start over?
That's too bad. Blake Welth, he ran that slant, caught it in stride, was going for more, got spun around, and when that happened, the second guy got his arm in there, and he was no way he could get back to that ball. But that's too bad, because that was a nice strike. They would have put them in very, very good field position.
Only the second time this year that the Spuds have fumbled the ball away.
Yep.
And it's first down Bemidji as they have scored to lead 7-0, and this drive for the Lumberjacks starts at their own 33. Wide receiver, wide left. Man in motion, comes back to the near side. James Williams III, he just put the points up on the board.
Timeout.
This play will come when we return after this Bemidji timeout. 11:35 to go on the Speakeasy scoreboard. Bemidji 7, Moorhead nothing.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Coming out of the timeout, Brett Theraldson and the Lumberjacks try a little off-tackle play to the far left side, but the Spuds are there, keeping it to a short gain. And Gotti coming up with the stop, and it's 2nd down and 8.
And again, Moorhead's front four, Larry, they actually broke it. They broke the timing of it because they got penetration, and Christian Vega is kind of playing that 3 technique. When he got across the guard's face, there was no place for that running back to go. So it's a great line surge by the Spuds.
Just underway, second quarter, 7-0 Bemidji. And now the Lumberjacks trying to take advantage of a gift presented to them on a fumble recovery. Shotgun formation, first man into the hole, play is stopped, but then he struggles forward. Good strong running up across the 37, near the 38-yard line is where he unpiled, but I think the knee went down prior to that. So virtually no gain on that play, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, they actually tried to run an isolation play to right that time, and Austin Alderpeter was playing the left outside linebacker. He recognized it right away and came in and got him from the side. He went between the tackle and the guard. When he read that step back inside, he did a nice job of blowing that play up right at the point of impact.
Crucial play in this drive for Bemidji. 3rd down and a long 6 needed. Tight end shifts and goes off left side. Williams goes in motion. Here's the pitch to Williams, and he slips behind a block and struggles his way forward. He just will not be brought down, and finally slithers out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So it did come out to be about a 3-yard gain on the play, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And again,
fourth down at about 2.
Yep, and they like running that speed option, and they got it out there at time. But Moorhead strung that out pretty well. He ran a long way to pick up 2 yards.
Moorhead making a quick change, and they've got players on the field now. If Bemidji's quarterback had been watching some plays from Aaron Rodgers recently, you would get that ball in play and make the defense get caught off guard. But still, they're going for the punt. Here's the kick away, and a floater is gathered in, and here's the return. Across the 35 to the 45 and at the sideline. He likes running the sideline. Brady Wolthall crosses over midfield, and the Spuds get great field position after a stubborn defensive stop by Moorhead.
And nice job by Brady Walthall. He picked that. He got the ball, looked where the wall was, ran straight to the sideline, and then he cut up inside that wall, made one guy miss, and that ended up being about a 35-yard punt return, and that nice sudden change again for the Spuds.
And so with that, the Spuds defense comes up and dictates how this game could turn out. After turning the ball over, Moorhead's defense comes up with a stop, and the offense has the ball back again, trailing 7-0 early here in the second quarter. Wide receiver, 3 on the near side in a cluster, 2 on the far right side, separated. Back to pass, Trey Feeney, looking, throwing. He's got his man wide open, and he dropped the football. George Janforth had it in his hands. He had it on his hips. He had it all wrapped up and ready for Christmas, but gave it away.
Yeah, he ran a wheel route that time from his inside of the trips. Came outside, was there, and number 14 for them got his hand up just a little bit, and I think it just kind of messed up his concentration. I don't think he tipped it, but it hit him right in the chest. That's too bad. That'd have been a big first down.
Matthew Arell, a very highly regarded defensive player for Bemidji, making that disruptive play. And so with that stop, it's now 2nd down. 2nd and 10, Moorhead at the Bemidji 43. Still early second quarter. Moorhead trails 7-0. First time they have trailed all year. In motion, man. Back to pass and looking. Quick toss is thrown into the turf. Great pressure applied by Bemidji. Something that we haven't seen from them until this point, that forced Trey Feeney to throw early and low.
Yeah, they blew both inside linebackers at times, so they're bringing 5. But the linebacker that was on the inside, Isaiah is his name, got the pressure on him, and so he got hit right when he threw it, so the ball got thrown into the dirt.
Mahmoud Jonas has checked in. Moorhead faces 3rd down and 10. 9:37 to go in the first half. Moorhead unbeaten, coming in at 5-0. Bemidji 4-1. This is the final regular season game. 3 receivers now on the near side for Moorhead. Here's the snap back as Feeney looks off to the near sideline. He's got his man. This time the catch is made. Here's the run. Here's the run. Here's the run into the end zone.
Brady.
Touchdown, Brady Wolthall. Make that a 43-yard catch and run for 6.
And again, he ran just, I call a little seam route, where he's off on the sideline in between the deep safety and the corner. caught it, brought it back inside, and then his brother picked up a nice block for him on the side, and away he went and did a good job of making a guy miss and not stopping.
So
or
a
stepping
quick,
out of bounds, I mean.
quick reply by the Spuds. And a point after now will tie this one up as it's on its way. Saif Alawi with the approach, and he pooches it up and pooches it good, and the Spuds come back to tie with 9:28 to go in the first half on the Speakeasy scoreboard. Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7. To the point after, Saif Alawi is back in business, and that one sailed past the end line in the air. It was line drive, and he's getting the high fives from teammate Tanner Kynes as he comes off the field on a kickoff that sailed past the end line.
Yeah, Boomer, you'd have liked that kick. It rolled all the way to the orange shed.
And we want to send along again our get well in a hurry wishes to Boomer, we call him. He's an assistant coach. I don't call him that. You do.
That's how I remember his name.
And we know that you're still in recovery, but things are coming along just fine, and so we wish you the best. Not only do we remember our veterans on this day, but we remember Justin Beam, or Boomer, as he is in the midst of his recovery. So Bemidji and the Spuds tied at 7. Bemidji at their own 20.
Nice.
And the play stopped at the line of scrimmage, plugged up nicely and brought down short gain.
And they tried to run a trap to Christian Vega's side. Christian took on the guard and the ball carrier before Jacksonville could come in and clean it up, but he did a nice job. He read the trap, took on the pulling guard, Larry, and then made enough contact that he ended up stopping the running back at the same time. That's a heck of a defensive play.
A 1-yard pickup leaves 2nd and 9. Theraldson listening in as the play has come in from sideline. And out of the huddle, receiver goes wide left, 2 receivers on the near side. Wing on the near side. Here's the look down the line, and the option pitch comes, and the Spuds force the play to the outside and have him step out of bounds near the 27-yard line. That turned into a 5-yard pickup. Jackson Goda, Austin Altepeter were in on the play. Caden Berg was in on the play, and also helping out was Jack Tompkins.
Yeah, and again, running speed option to their right. Caden Berg's playing the corner on that side. He's got a guy blocking him. He made sure that he got outside leverage so that he couldn't get outside. That turned the play back in so that his buddies from the inside could come and make the tackle.
7-7 our score. Bemidji has the football as they move it left to right of trailing wind. I can't imagine that really is a factor at all tonight. It is so light. As the receiver goes wide left and near side as well. In the backfield, the play goes on a nice run by Will Faldorf, the senior running back. Worked his way to about the 29. And Altepeter was there on the stop and stopped him before the first down was made, so it's 4th and a short yard.
Yeah, again, running that outside zone, read zone outside. And Tyken, again, from his defensive end spot that time, just stretched it out long enough so that they could come out and Altepeter could make that stop.
At this point on the field, shy of the 30-yard line, and at this point in the game, Bemidji will step up and punt away. Moorhead is back in return. Here's the snap back, and the kick angled off to the far side. And it rolls down at the 41-yard line. Spuds get great field position on the exchange. With the game tied at 7, the Spud offense rolls on.
And defense is, again, now it's 2 series in a row where they've really straightened up and forced Bemidji into doing a couple things they probably don't want to do. We haven't really seen them try to throw the ball. Everything's been a run, but they're doing such a nice job up front that they're not getting the yards they're looking for. And Moorhead at the 41, great starting spot.
7:20 to go, first half. First quarter was played in a hurry. Second quarter is just about as quickly played. 3 receivers on the near side. Single receiver far right side, man on the backfield alongside Trey Feeney. And Feeney will keep it himself. He waits and waits and works his way forward. He just absolutely has a great feel for the situation, for game situation, when to step forward, and that's just all instinct.
And the other thing, he's smart enough to follow Mahmoud Yunus up the hole. Mahmoud, basically they ran, it's a quarterback isolation play that he ran. Mahmoud steps in, he got the linebacker, Trey stayed outside of that block, and then the first guy missed him, and he picked up, 7 yards?
The line to gain now is the Bemidji 49-yard line. Ball resting just outside the Moorhead 48, so second and almost 3. Wide receiver far right side. Mahmoud Yunus shifts from one side to the other. He's strong right side now. As 3 receivers in a cluster come to the near side. Here's the snap back as Feeney looks and throws. He's got his man wide open. On the near side, it's Brady Walthall once again. Boy, he has just a certain ability to separate himself from the defense and leave himself wide open and looking for the ball, and Trey Feeney knows enough to get it in that direction.
Absolutely, and again, he was lined up outside, ran like he was going to run a straight go, ran an out route, sat down again between the corner and that safety. The ball perfectly thrown for him, and then he does us a nice job of getting yards after the catch. Larry, see it turn back inside, and he picked up an extra 4 or 5 because of it.
Down at the 37-yard line, Moorhead on the drive with the game tied at 7. Closing in on the halfway mark of the second quarter. The receiver's now wide out to the far right side for Trey Feeney as he rocks and waits for the snap. It's there. Now he'll run it himself. He had no plans of throwing the ball on that drive. And that offensive line continues to push it along, and they're going to spot him down at about the 32-yard line. I thought they may snowplow their way all the way into the end zone, but it had to come down sooner or later.
Again, it was just that isolation play again with Mahmoud leading it up in the 2-hole. And they made contact on after about a 2-yard gain, but the lineman kept the pressure on the defensive line and just kept pushing the sticks. And Trey's coming out for a second here.
Gavin Quaid is checking in. He'll be the quarterback now. Sophomore quarterback has been able to get some playing time this year with the scores that the Spuds have worked up. And Trey Feeney, at least for this one play, is at the sideline. We'll see.
I think he landed on the ball, and he just needed a breather.
So Gavin Quaid takes the snap, hands off, and no place to go.
Yeah.
The Bemidji defense, led into the hole by Grant Declusion, is there for the stop, and no gain on the play, brings up third down.
Yeah, and coming into the game cold. He didn't have any chance for him. Saying they were trying to run isolation back to the left. He turned to the right and had to turn all the way around to get the ball in the on for his arms, and that really messed up the timing of the play.
Spuds are in their huddle and breaking out. Game tied at 7. As they take a look, Spuds are inside the 34-yard line. Here's the look. Rolling off far right side. And with some room inside the 30. And down near the first down marker at the 27-yard line.
I'm going to be short.
Trey Feeney back in. He missed just one play. And he was back in, and the stop made as they rested down inside the 28-yard line. So just short. It looks like fourth and about a length of the football.
Yep, and again, good decision by Trey. Steps back. They ran double crossing routes at that time. Linebackers were underneath him. He didn't have a throwing lane, so he got what he could. And I like what he did there too. He slid into third base that time.
4:21 to go, first half. Game tied at 7. Trey Feeney from under center. And then he'll step back and wait. Game clock is running out, and the Spuds are asking for a timeout. So when we return, it's fourth and less than a yard. 4:10 to go in the first half on the Speakeasy scoreboard. Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7.
Get up.
Your dreams don't hit snooze. Because if you snooze, you might miss your opportunity to improve your craft. Put in the work. Your opportunity to be the best.
Fourth down and a foot. Trey Feeney keeps it himself, goes off the left side, and he's got the first down. He needed only a foot, a length of the football. He got just a little bit more. Change, move on, and Moorhead's drive continues.
And you see what they did? They came out of the timeout. The referee blew the ball ready, and they snapped it in a hurry. But Bemidji wasn't quite lined up yet, Larry.
In a play like that, it takes just a split second to work.
Yep, and that's exactly what happens.
As discussion goes on the field now, we do not see a penalty flag, but it would appear that something has happened on the field that is taking the attention of the officials away from the players in the game as they discuss some administrative duties here, and now they're waving it off. Whatever it was,
I have no idea.
It's being waved off, and play will get underway.
Chuck's going to go over and give Kevin a heads up anyhow.
All right, they've one of the things is to get the clock straightened away.
Yep.
That's 14 seconds that got run off apparently that are being asked to put back on the timepiece.
Yeah, they didn't stop the clock right away when the first down was called.
Okay,
yes.
4 minutes 5 seconds to go, and that situation has been remedied. Bemidji going left to right. They've got a first down at their own 26-yard line. Correction, Moorhead. Talk about being disruptive. Here's the play on the near side. He's being chased. He runs into the backside of his own player, which slows him down, and that allows Bemidji to come up as Dawson Lish comes in. Or correction, Gavin Luksek comes up with the stop.
Yeah, that time he just came around the corner. Jack Tyken was the tight end on that side, Larry, and as he was blocking him, he fell backwards, and Trey didn't feel that pressure until it was way too late. Again, Bemidji, they're keeping everybody in front of him, keeping those cover two safeties back, and he didn't have any place to throw it right away.
2nd and 13. Moorhead's drive now inside the Bemidji 30. Trey Feeney leans forward, may have made a play call change as he waits. Trey Feeney takes the snap and looks. Plenty of time this time. Good protection on the lean, looking to the end zone. There's nobody there. One of the rare times this year where Trey Feeney is thrown to an open field. There was nobody there. At the 3:05 mark, that stops the clock.
Yeah, excuse me, and what happened that time is he was waiting for Michael Hago, was trying to get himself into the post, and he broke off his route. Trey threw it to the spot he thought he would be. Luckily, there wasn't any defensive backs back there, but he was trying to get Hago to come back inside on more of a post move, and he's still a young sophomore yet. He got to figure out how to make sure that he gets to the spot he needs to get to.
George Janforth is in. He wanted to set up near side. Now sprints off to the far side. He becomes one of 3 receivers there. 3:05 to go. Here's the look by Trey Feeney, and he dumps it underneath. And a little screen pass there, and somehow Brady Wolthall gets loose. The elusive Brady Wolthall slips out of a certain tackle and slipped the head upfield and picks up a first down.
He caught that ball just behind the line of scrimmage. It was a middle screen to him. Their linebacker saw it, read it, and somehow he split him and then got himself back outside. They got enough for the first down. That's just, wow.
Puts the ball down in the red zone now, and it's first down at the 16-yard line. Moorhead game tied and driving as we close in on the 2:46 mark of the first half. Wide receivers, far right side and near left side, man in the slot both ways. As they take a look, here's Trey Feeney waiting for the snap and the look, and he rifles it to the near side, and this one is overthrown.
Blake
Wolthall on the near side got tangled up with the defender just a bit, And that allowed the pass to be overthrown, so the incompletion there stops the clock with 2:31 remaining.
Yeah, it looks like Blake was trying to run a corner out the time, but Bemidji blew the linebackers again. They picked it up, but just at the last second when he was trying to get ready to throw, the linebacker got through to him, so he had to throw that ball just a little early, and Blake wasn't able to get back to the corner.
Bemidji is making Trey Feeney, particularly in the Moorhead offense,
work a little bit
and do some things that they haven't really had to do early on in this season. Trey Feeney on the keeper, waiting for the blocking to develop. He follows it. He slips off one, slips off a second, and still on his feet and struggling forward to the 5-yard line. That might be enough for a first down.
And again, all that was, he took the snap. It was a design quarterback, a run right up the middle, waited for the lines for the linebackers to get blocked, which they did, and then was able to slide through and make it just where it's like 3rd and a foot.
Yeah, not quite enough for the first down. They need to cross over the 5-yard line to keep the chains moving up. Here's Trey Feeney looking. 13 seconds on the play clock as Bemidji shows blitz. And the call goes up the middle and a run.
Yep, quarterback.
Let's see where they have it. Trey Feeney tried to cross over the 5. I think he got stood up and was driven back. The clock will continue to run.
Oh, it should stop now because it's...
And he did pick up a first down. Trey Feeney on the quarterback keeper, and it's 1st and goal.
Yep. Again, just went up, got up on the line of scrimmage and went. And you see, as soon as he went up underneath center, both linebackers stepped up. They knew what was coming when he got up underneath center, and they still couldn't stop it.
Important drive here, just 1:28 to go, and the Spuds are trying to take as much time off the clock as they can, still get some points, and if Bemidji does get the football back with very limited time to work with. As Trey Feeney, play clock at 1, takes the snap and looks. He rifles it into the turf,
bounced it.
And he bounced it there, and it'll be ruled incomplete. Good defensive play from Bemidji's Jared Condos. And forcing the play down and in front of the Moorhead receiver, and it is 2nd down.
Yeah, and that time, again, it was just Brady trying to run that little out route again. And he just ran like a little mini sprint out that time, Larry, and when he threw it, I think he threw off his back foot. He didn't get his momentum forward the way he likes to.
This play will get underway with 1:07 to go. It's 2nd and goal at the 4. Here's Feeney. As he waits for the snap, Kevin Feeney rolls onto the field with a somewhat determined gait with 1:07 to go in the first half on the Speakeasy scoreboard. Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. Now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes. Offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
The Moorhead timeout. Moorhead and Bemidji tied at 7-man in motion. Here's a look into the end zone, and it is incomplete. It seemed to be bobbled, and it was, and then a connection there between the Spuds receiver and defender separated the ball further from the Moorhead receiver, and with that, the incompletion puts the ball down at the 5, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, and Ja'Kai Fitzpatrick's lined up wide right that time. He tried to run the slant play, and he tried to thread the needle at that time, and threw the ball just a little bit behind him, and then the defender, I think, got a hand on it, Larry.
Bemidji's defense knows the challenge here, stopping the Spuds at this point. They step across but get back. They, in fact, did not actually encroach, and so play will continue on. Trey Feeney now at 5 and 4. Trey Feeney at 2 and 1. He did not get the play in time.
Yeah, he did.
Unbelievable how that happened. And into the end zone for the touchdown. They're going to say no. The official on the backside and way away from the play says no, and the flag is down for delay of game.
That's too bad, and he hit Janforth on the slant that time, and George did a nice job. He caught the ball, so I was going to get hit, balled up, and hung on, but unfortunately the ball, and that's the back judge who has that call. He's the one that keeps the clock. And
third down and goal from the 10-yard line. Brady Walthall wide, far right side. There are 3 receivers in a cluster near side. Trey Feeney brings a man in motion. Here's the snap back and the look. Over the top, and he's got his man open for the score. Blake Walthall was
called
there.
him out. They called him out of bounds.
And now they say they'll take that one away, as he had stepped out of bounds before coming back in to make the play. And so the struggle continues, and Moorhead will have 4th down.
Yep, and that's too bad because the ball was perfectly thrown on the time. We call it throwing it in the bucket. He put enough arc underneath so he could run underneath it, but he got forced out of bounds by the corner. And it doesn't matter if you're forced out or not. You can't step out of bounds, come back in right away.
And now the officials will discuss and make their determination based on their conversation. And of course, no video replay or anything like that to enhance or reaffirm whatever it was they saw. So the conversation continues there. This game is the end of the regular season. Playoffs will begin next Tuesday, and the winners there will go into the semifinal bracket against Moorhead and Bemidji. We know full well going into tonight's games that Moorhead and Bemidji will either be the number 1 or the number 2 seed. That's the significance of this game. And it will mean home field advantage as well. And so the conversation continues as we wait to see. Meanwhile, the game clock itself has gone inside of a minute, 58 seconds remaining. Bemidji scored first, and for the first time this year, Moorhead had trailed. And 2 series of plays later, the Spuds came back to tie, and now they're threatening to take the lead before halftime. But all kinds of obstacles have come to play.
Yeah, like
and
Bemidji's
Moorhead
defense.
is ready to go. Bemidji has had a big factor in it, that is for sure. So Trey Feeney. Let's see how he's got things lined up.
Well,
and they're still not ready to put this up to the line of scrimmage and run a play. And they're going to mark off another penalty against Moorhead. They've brought it all the way back to the 25-yard line. Well, I'm not sure what.
I have no idea what's going on.
Now they've picked up the ball and they've brought it over to the near side. Now they've picked up the ball, which means they've lost placement.
Well, luckily they haven't moved the stakes yet, but I don't know what the penalty was.
I understand the first one for delay of game. That was obvious.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about this one.
Yes, and now this one we don't know.
And I know that Coach Feeney's been chipped, and now they called it off. Now they're going back to the line. They're going back. So.
So, 4th and goal now from the 10-yard line.
How can they decline the penalty? That would give Moorhead a touchdown. Then they can't decline the penalty.
Well, this penalty came after that on the next play.
No, they marked off a penalty because illegal touching, because he went out of bounds and came back in. Now for for Bemidji to decline it, that would give Moorhead a touchdown. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So they're going to have to have some more.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah, this is. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened. So
Brian Stoffel has had some explanation given him, and he quite frankly just calmly turned around and walked back to his huddle on the far sideline with no answer one way or the other. And meanwhile, Kevin Feeney is trying to get it explained on the near side.
So now they're bringing the.
And now they're bringing it back, and they're going to do it all over again and bring it all the way back up.
But now, why is it a 15-yard penalty? What was the original?
Yeah, we don't know that.
Okay, that's weird.
Instead of 4th down, it will be 3rd and goal, which is what it should be, I guess. But it's at the 25-yard line, so it's 3rd and goal at the 25-yard line. Here's the snap back for Feeney. Turns, looks, and he goes up on over the top.
Picked. Nope, he dropped
And he
it.
dropped it in the end zone, and it was intended for the Spuds, I think. Blake Walthall was the intended receiver, an identical play to a moment ago.
Yep.
But it got blocked up into the air. Bemidji, who has been so good at intercepting the football this season, nearly had it there, but it slipped away.
Yeah.
And the Spuds will have, guess what? It is the moment for Saif Alawi. The ball is spotted at the 37. This is a 47-yard field goal attempt, and it is long enough, but I think he hooked it, and he got it around to the left, and it is no good. So after all of that, the ball is given back to Bemidji on downs with 49 seconds to go and no further scoring.
Yeah, and on that last play, it was just Blake was running that over the top or idle route, and the timing of the ball was through, but they're sitting back in that cover 2 zone, and he read that. He read the quarterback size perfectly and got there. Blake was open, but the safety got over, knocked it down.
So they'll bring it out, and Bemidji will have several plays if they work the play. I expect they'll run it to the sideline and get as far upfield as they can before running out of time and head into the locker room. We're tied at 7 in what has turned into a rather interesting affair here this evening.
Yes, it has.
And so the Lumberjacks. Single receiver on the near side. Twins on the far side. Here's Theraldson. And on the run, they'll take it off to the left side, and James Williams III, who ran 42 yards for Bemidji's score, has put it across the 25-yard line, and from there, it's 33 seconds to go. There's virtually 1 second difference between game clock and play clock.
Yeah, they're going to play this pretty close to the vest, Larry. They're happy with the tie right now.
Yeah, they have to put the ball down. It's a 1 second difference you have on the play clock. And so they'll put the long play in. Let's see how aggressive they are. Theraldson waiting and takes the snap as he hands it off, and the run goes virtually nowhere. It's stopped at the 27-yard line. And that will put us in the locker room. We're at halftime on the Speakeasy scoreboard from Jim Goda Stadium. Moorhead 7, Bemidji 7. Stadium. Spuds missing on a field goal attempt just before the end of the half. Bemidji ran a couple of plays to no avail, and we stayed tied at the halfway mark, 7-7.
And it's pretty much what we thought. We knew it was going to be a good game. We knew that, that they were going to feel each other out, I guess you could say. One bad turnover by the Spuds, and But defensively, they kind of shut them down here now in the second quarter. They weren't able to do much on offense. The Lumberjacks weren't. And Moorhead had a couple long fields, had a touchdown called back because of a penalty, and here we are.
Bemidji started their season with a loss to Andover, 17-7. And from that, they have reeled off 4 straight wins, getting in the win column with a victory over Sartell, and then going on the road to Edina, which was a first. I think as far as people have been able to determine, Bemidji and Edina have never played football. And Bemidji showed them how. It was 35-0.
Yep.
And then a win over Brainerd, and last week a win over Alexandria, and Bemidji comes into the game tonight at 4-1. Spuds reeling off wins over Buffalo, Alexandria, Sartell, Rogers, and last week Brainerd. And they have done so in a sparkling fashion. Their offense has just lit up the scoreboard.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and they've moved the ball pretty well